Well, we do much more than just hardware and software. We have, of course, A+ is our most well-known certification probably around the world, but we have certifications around Linux, around cybersecurity, around project management. We do many certifications. I think we have, what, 12, 13 now. So it's been a gradual transition, but we've kept up with the times. And right now, cybersecurity, of course, is very big for us right now. But focused mostly on cybersecurity and infrastructure. That's our sweet spot as an organization when it comes to certifications. Cybersecurity has gotten more and more complex over the years. It's gone from just simply a virus in your computer to now we have things called advanced persistent threats, which are things that you must go in and know what to look for to detect if they're even there. They can be hidden, they can be ongoing, and you have to know exactly what to look for. So our certifications have kept up with this trend, and that it gives you the skills to be able to find these hidden threats, to be able to dispose of them. Absolutely. In fact, our next phase of certifications we call assessments, AI machine learning based assessments, where it truly shows your knowledge, skills, and abilities to do a particular job. It might only be a few different questions, but it may have you go in and actually perform a task in an artificial virtual environment to really show that you can do this. And that's the next phase that we're working on in terms of our industry recognized, globally recognized certifications. Our biggest customer overall in the world is the U.S. Department of Defense, and they are looking to take it to the next level. So they have inspired us to look at these AI machine learning based assessments as the next step, the next evolution in our certifications.
Not really, unfortunately. We started in Mexico with a program called Mexico First, but then we had a little success for about 2 years, and I think we had about 300 people take CompTIA certifications, but then that program went away. We now are engaged with the government in Brazil, and we're actually in a very good place there. We're working with, I'll call it an agency, that may not be a good word, called RNP, RNP, which manages the high-speed network that connects over 1,000 universities and government agencies. It's a research network. But they also offer training to all those institutions. And they have made the decision to include CompTIA, all CompTIA certifications into their training. The good news is that they also work with their sister agencies in the rest of Latin America, and so they do training, for example, in Argentina, Chile, Peru, and so they're going to bring the CompTIA certifications there. Really, right now, the only active program is with Brazil. We are active in the Caribbean with the government of the Bahamas. But it's a challenge to connect with the governments. They have a lot of things they want to put their money at, and it's a challenge to get their attention. In terms of Latin America, low. Mexico, if my 5 largest countries in terms of number of tests taken, Mexico's the lowest. Brazil is much larger than Mexico, and then there is Costa Rica, Panama, Chile, and then Mexico. And actually, more tests are taken in the country of the Bahamas than are taken in Mexico, CompTIA tests. Actually, we do. Our strategy for the last, for Brazil, for the last 4 years was to use social media marketing and not to advertise to companies and governments because we haven't had success at that level, but to focus on the individuals. And we've had a lot of success because the individuals bring us into their companies, and they're bringing us into the government agencies, they're bringing us into the companies where they work. So at the beginning of this year, 2018, we started the same strategy for all of Latin America, including Mexico. We have a social media marketing company that we contract, and they have a really good program. So we're doing the same thing, focusing on individuals and using those connections to get into companies. That's the plan. A young person who wants to enter IT, what CompTIA gives to them is a lot of opportunity to invest their money and get a good return on investment. Also, there are many students who aren't going to the universities. They left the secundarias and preparatorias, and they're not going to school. And you don't need a degree from a university to be an IT professional. So what CompTIA gives them is a plan. CompTIA is the only plan that creates an IT professional from zero level of conocimiento to a professional advanced level of IT infrastructure support skills. CompTIA is the only program. There is no other program that does what CompTIA does. So with CompTIA, if you left high school, the secundaria, preparatoria, and you don't have a plan, CompTIA has a plan for you. If you're in a university, you can use CompTIA to add more to what you're learning in the university, because CompTIA's certifications are focused on skills that you need in the job today. And you at the beginning mentioned software versus hardware. It's not that anymore. It's everything. It's all mixed. There is no separation. You have to learn Linux line commands. You have to know them. You have to know operating system line commands. You just have to know it. And you have to learn how to work with networks. You have to learn how to work with mobile devices. Everything all comes together now. There's no separation. So you're not going to learn that in a university, with all respect to universities, because they can't teach all that. So what CompTIA does is it brings additional conocimiento. So if you earn a CompTIA certification while you're in school, go get a job. Don't wait to graduate, go work now. If you want to wait, well, when you leave the university and you have a certification, you're ahead of probably 98% of the students in Mexico. Yeah, they're not all written in Spanish. We do have 3 certifications written in Spanish, and we are working on developing study materials for all those certifications. Our entry-level certification, called A+ or AMAS, is written in Spanish. CompTIA Linux Plus or Linux Mas is in Spanish, and CompTIA Network Mas is in Spanish. They should start with AMAS or A+, CompTIA, AMAS, and Linux Mas, those 2. Because if they want to, if they think they want to be a software programmer, both of those certifications will help them, A, to understand the infrastructure that they will be working in when they go out into the real world, and B, Linux is everywhere. Linux touches everything. So having an understanding of Linux will help them whether they want to focus on just software or whether they end up in an environment where they have to do everything.
I would also add, we have a certification called IT Fundamentals, which is an excellent certification that gives a broad overview of technology. You know, how does cloud work? How does programming work? What is Internet of Things? So for someone who has never been in IT, it may be a certification that will help them decide, you know, IT is really interesting. I think I want to pursue this further. To me, everyone should have to take IT fundamentals in school, everyone, because it gives them kind of that digital baseline knowledge that everyone should have some amount of. And then again, it may light that spark for someone to say, I really like IT. I think I'm going to go in this direction, because it gives you a nice overview of technology. So that's a very good cert, I think, for anyone to have. It could be. So for many businesses, many businesses that do have technology, may use IT fundamentals to require all their other employees, so that it gives them at least an overview of what the company does in a broad sense, if that makes sense. So it's a very good cert for people just getting into IT, for IT companies that want all their employees to have some type of knowledge of what's going on in IT as well.